Pete, come on.
Take my hand.
Now this is just one marvellous scene out of many from the 21 films preceding Endgame. Many scenes have been covered by better video essayists than I, and I'll link to the playlist where they've all been compiled. I'd like to thank Nando V Movies for the whole project, as from it I've been introduced to a number of channels I'd never have found before. As a 14-year-old boy going in to see Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't know much, except that the trailer showed a fun comedy set in space, to which it most certainly delivered. But all I knew about the production of it was that it was written and directed by someone whose only credit I knew to be the masterpiece Scooby-Doo and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I had no clue what to expect going into it, and to be hit with this gut punch of an opener? Devastating.
Surprise, motherfucker!
In not even 4 minutes, it sets up the character of Peter Quill in not only an emotionally driven way, but also investing the audience into his character. It makes him instantly relatable to kids and adults alike. Not everyone can be a billionaire playboy philanthropist, but everyone has been a vulnerable child, or had to deal with loss in some form or another. With this, I'm not stating that a protagonist has to be relatable in the slightest, but I am highlighting its effectiveness in this film in particular. Say the film started with Quill dancing around singing. The audience would still learn to love him throughout the course of the narrative, but he wouldn't have the same depth and regret behind him. The scene instantly draws you in with the music and shows that it'll be an integral part of the film, with the Walkman being front and centre in the very first shot, and with Peter gripping it ever so tightly. The song I'm Not in Love by 10cc is playing and sets the slow, methodical tone of the scene with its slower camera work and cutting. The music even drowns out the dialogue.
Your mama wants to speak with you.
Showing that he just wants to be anywhere but in that room. His view is blocked at first by silhouettes, presumably family, but the light sits softly on his mother.
Why have you been fighting with the other boys again, baby?
They killed little frog that ain't done nothing.
He fights for the underdog, even when that makes him more of an outcast, already showing that he does have some sort of a moral compass. This also demonstrates that he deals with his emotions through violence, being a perfect setup for being completely within character. He receives a gift, and he doesn't open it for 26 years. Every time he looks at it, he's reminded of this moment. So he runs, or confronts it with violence, but here he's dumbfounded by it.
I got you covered, Pete.
He has the support and love there, and he still runs. He struggles to accept love, or even accept family. Most people in his position would kill for a chance to say goodbye. Not everybody gets that closure, but he can't bring himself to do it. He tries to drown it out, pretend it isn't happening, and with that,
No!
it's too late. Instantly regretting it, he screams. He missed his chance. After being dragged out by his grandfather, he fades into yet another silhouette. Now Peter is truly alone. As a child, his whole worldview has been turned on its head, and through the course of the film, he starts working towards how to deal with this and to accept family. That's why this setup works so well. This flawed character slowly learns to accept family, and this allows him in Volume 2 to recognise that Yondu was there as his dad the entire time. It's this humanity and level of emotion that James Gunn injects into his scripts that I feel elevates it further above the rest. That's one of the many reasons the Guardians were so beloved so quickly. While the Avengers is about a team, the Guardians is about a dysfunctional family, all coming together to become something more. And while it's not perfect, they do have their ups and they do have their downs. That's exactly what a family is. Now, looking at the MCU as a whole, it is an incredible achievement of filmmaking and storytelling. And this leads me into something that I've been thinking about for a while. We are currently living in the age of filmmakers inspired by Star Wars. Obviously, not everyone even likes Star Wars, but the amount of behind-the-scenes clips I've seen from numerous films where the director says that they are inspired to start filmmaking by Star Wars, either directly or indirectly, and you can see why. It offered a lived-in science fiction world that wasn't polished, but instead rusty. But moving forward, I can't wait to see the generation which was inspired to make films by the MCU. Whether that's more longer-form serialized storytelling, or a distinct focus on characters. Tony Stark hasn't had his own solo film since 2013, yet his character has still progressed and changed in the past 6 years, even when not the main focus or title character of a film. Personally, I've grown up with the MCU. I remember renting the first Iron Man from Blockbuster, which made this joke hurt just that little bit more. But it's the fact that these films show characters growing in real time that aids in giving us an attachment not seen in many other franchises, which is another testament to James Gunn for introducing the Guardians and making it work without it being heavily related to the rest of the MCU. But this is just one marvellous scene, out of many from the 21 films preceding Avengers Endgame. Thank you again to Nando V Movies for starting the One Marvellous Scene series, and I've loved throwing my hat in the ring. Definitely check out the rest of the playlist, and also specifically I Am Amazing Mason's You Killed My Mother video. It is absolutely phenomenal stuff.